Example of its use, but this is pretty nuts. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the video. Today we are going to be going over the balance changes and the other changes that are coming in the next update of Clash Royale, along with the 4th year anniversary of Clash Royale. So here is a balance update graphic provided by Royale API. They're always linked in the description for like deck links. It's the best Clash Royale website in my opinion. So check that out if you guys want to. To start off, it is going to be a small minor nerf. They hinted at this on Twitter, but it is true. Minor will be doing 5% less damage to towers. So currently, he does 40% of his full damage, like the damage he would do to a troop. He will do 35% of that damage to the tower instead of 40%. I don't know. Miner's one of those cards, like, it's super versatile, so I think it has, like, it's okay if it's slightly OP, but this nerf isn't that massive. It's definitely going to hurt decks that rely on Miner Chip to win the game, like, obviously Miner Cycle, although Miner, like, control really hasn't been, like, it's okay, but it hasn't been, like, a staple deck for a while, like Miner Inferno Tower or whatever. I will say this kind of hurts Mortar, though. Mortar relies on Miner Chip a lot. I guess a little bit of the Swarm Chip too, and the pressure from the Swarm cards in the Mortar, of course. But Mortar does rely on that a lot. Maybe Giant Miner gets a little bit less chip now. But decks that use the Miner merely as a distraction, I guess Miner Wall Breakers is a little bit nerfed. Of course, anything that uses Miners is a little bit nerfed. But like, I don't think Miner Loon is really all that hurt by this as much. Or maybe... See, like, Giant Miner kind of uses the Miner to kill troops sometimes, so I feel like it's more like decks that are heavy chip, as opposed to decks that can get, like, a big connection. I mean, but in all, it shouldn't be that big a deal. It tanks just as much, it just doesn't do quite as much damage. But it may be warranted. I don't really hate it or love it, so. Going on to the next one, Earthquake will now affect Hidden Tesla. I think this is kind of weird and out of left field. I wonder why they make Earthquake affect Tesla underground, but not other spells. Like, it can still dodge, like, poison, for example. It's because Earthquake targets buildings, I guess, but it just seems like a weird change. And Earthquake already hard counters the only deck that, like, reliably uses Tesla, which is, Expo. And now this is just even that much more of a hard counter. I mean, it doesn't really matter because, like, how often those two played against each other, but it makes it, like, that much better of a snipe deck on ladder to use Earthquake against Expo players. But I don't know, weird change to me. And then Cannon Card and Cannon Buff, I really like this. They're both really underutilized. And Hog 2.6 is probably just a bad deck, but the fact that Cannon is used in it, and it's kind of a staple of the Clash Royale community, this gives it a little bit of life. So I think that's cool. And I think Cannon Card's bad, but Cannon Card just doesn't see any usage right now, so 5% damage to it. And then, so not necessarily a nerf, not necessarily a buff, the Golemite damage is going down, so Golemite's chunk for a little bit, oh, I hit the mic. Golemite's chunk for a little bit less now, but the death damage is increased. I mean, how often did they actually get to punch the tower? I feel like this is just kind of a buff, isn't it? If I think about it. Because, like, maybe... I don't know. I wonder how that actually equates. Maybe... So, I guess the... But the thing is now, it's definitely a buff. It's definitely a buff, I would say, actually. Because now it kills swarms easier. So, used to, it didn't one-shot swarms. I'm assuming this changes to make it one-shot, like, bats and skellies. So... Like, sometimes you would use a Goblin Gang and you would purposely kind of wait for the main Golem to die so you could finish off the Golemites and whatever support was behind it. So now maybe they'll be able to, like, chunk that out or kill that swarm. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be weird. I'm going to have to play it. All right, moving on. Let's talk about the new card that is being added to Clash Royale. The Royal Delivery. And they have some really good use cases showcased in a little video here. It does about an arrow's worth of damage. Actually, if we compare, it does 318 versus the arrow's 303. So very comparable. It just does a little bit more than arrows. So like it doesn't get any. It does everything arrows do. And a smaller radius, and the big caveat is it can only be cast on your side of the arena, similar to Log or Barb Barrel, and it does target air and ground. Radius is 3, and as you could have noticed, when it drops, a Royal Recruit will be spawned in. So obviously, to me, it has like elements of arrows that it's similar to arrows. It has elements of Barb Barrel, where a unit spawns, and it obviously has a Royal Recruit. I don't know. We'll have to see. It can be very good. It can take out every kind of swarm, basically. It obviously is very good versus Minion Horde, because then you pop out and you get a Royal Recruit. I don't know. It's odd because it's a spell and it has kind of a large delay, and it can only be cast on your side of the arena. Let me know what you guys think of it. I definitely think there's a niche for it. Like, definitely on decks that like want to run arrows, but they don't really need it for the offense. They just need it for the defense and a unit. It can be good against like heavy pushes that have a lot of swarm in them. This is a card that could definitely be like amazing versus like Sparky swarm decks. You could take out a swarm, you could hit the Sparky, and then it would absorb a Sparky shot with its shield. Like, that's a really good use case. Like a Sparky bats giant push, and it distracts the Sparky while you're able to take out the giant. That could be really nice. So there's definitely use cases where like it would definitely be better than arrows. And in that situation we just described, it's far superior to Barb Barrel, but it is 3 elixir, and it is a common, and it will be maxed the starting season. So yeah. Alright, let's get a friendly battle going. And you just kind of have to get used to the delay, but for instance, it's not even bad against Mini Pekka in this situation here, and this is a case where like Barb Barrel wouldn't fully stop a Mini Pekka there, because it would want to hit it. So it's actually really good against things like Lumberjack and Mini Pekka when it's your only defense. This is an extreme example of its use, but this is pretty nuts. So it can target the air there, and then it distracts Sparky for a really long time. And then of course his push that's pretty unrealistic, but it's more realistic that he could like throw bats on that push, or like Goblin Gang, and it hits everything, kills that, and distracts Sparky for 2 shots. And I only used 7 elixir, and that push was 16 elixir for him. So it definitely has some big defensive potential, especially versus swarm decks. You have to be careful with the delay, but it's pretty good against the 2 Musk on a 3 Musk side too. Like, I'm pretty sure if you timed it correctly, you could like 100% you could fully deny 2 Musketeers. It has that little knockback too. So, and then finally, I'll quickly show using Shelby's gameplay, another YouTuber, from just the TV Royale and the dev build. As you can see, the arena is a moving balloon. I don't know how much I like the animation of the moving arena, but it's the 4-year birthday cake arena theme. I do like the arena, and when you're on mobile, I'm pretty sure you can't see as much as you can here on the iPad, on like the sides, but there's like wheels, and the arena is actually like portrayed to be moving. Not sure how much I love it, because it is a little bit distracting. But the arena, the like birthday theme, and like the sweets and stuff for the bridge, that's pretty dope. I think it looks pretty cool. But yeah, and then you can see the tower skin. I think tower skin's pretty dope too. As you can see, it did a decent job of clearing out skeletons, but obviously Royal Recruit not the best graveyard defense there. Alright, but that is it for today's video. I showed the things I thought were important, and I'll do this with each update as I have been in the past, and I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Peace.